and I said, say what, Mr. Judge? I can what? Mr. Judge, you must be kidding. I actually didn't say that, but that was what I was thinking about. I was like, hey, Mimi, I can get an arrest warrant on you, sis. You're playing with me. You mess with the wrong chick at this point. I feel sorry for you.
It's Milca. Et si tu n'es pas content, ça veut dire que ça c'est la jalousie.
Hey guys, it's your girl Milca and I'm back again with another video. So today's video is gonna be a story time. Yes. Okay, disclaimer: I'm gonna be sniffing a lot and I'm gonna probably be blowing my nose. It's because I'm kind of congested right now. Every time like there's seasonal changes, like when there's like a change in season, I get a cold. I got a cold, my nose gets like plugged. I sneeze a lot. I'm not coughing though or anything like that, so it's not the coronavirus. So let's get straight into the video. So today's video is going to be a story time. I think it was 2-3 weeks ago, I was cleaning out my room and I saw these legal documents that I used to go to court, to send somebody to court or to sue somebody, and I asked you guys if you guys wanted to know what the story behind it was, and I got 100% votes saying yes. So you guys really wanted to hear the story, so I'm obliged. Like an event that taught me a lot, and I think it'll help and teach other people out there a lot too. Like I think anybody could be a victim of fraud and I just want to share how I dealt with it and how I went about it. Now this is the shorter version of the story time. If you guys want to see the full story, it's going to be on my YouTube channel, which is linked in my bio, so check it out if you guys want to see the whole full-on detailed story. Now this story, like I said, is not to be malicious or to bring anybody down or to expose anyone. It's simply to share my experience and share the things that I learned throughout this experience that I think can benefit anybody. With that being said, I'm not going to use anybody's real name. I'm going to conceal everybody's name. So the two main characters of the story are going to be Brenda, who is the scammer, and then there's Melody. Melody is a close friend of mine. Now, this story happened about 6 years ago, I think, when I first started university. And Melody was a friend that I knew who had already started university, and she was really helpful in like getting me integrated and like getting started, you know, in university, and she kind of showed me all the ropes and everything, and she introduced me to a couple of people within our university that she knew, and I was like, okay, cool. And one of those people happened to be Brenda. Now Brenda was at the time like really well spoken. She was you know, she carried herself in like a great, like in a very poised and like respectful manner. She had a great reputation. Everybody thought she was amazing. Everybody thought she was like a great person, and I did too. I mean, she was the queen of packaging. This girl could package herself. She really packaged herself to be somebody of like, you know, who you would have like high esteem for. I wouldn't say this person was a close friend. Brenda, I wouldn't say she was a close friend, but she was definitely somebody that I saw like a lot because she was close, or she was really good friends with like the friends that I had. So we had a lot of friends in common. We were always seeing each other and we were cordial. We were like, I would consider, like at that time I would have considered her a friend. Right now, thinking about it, she probably wasn't a friend, she was an acquaintance. So for about like a year, I think it was for like a year, I kept on seeing her. We spoke a lot, and there was this one group within our university that was devoted and dedicated to bringing people of different cultures together, specifically people of like African, Caribbean, or Black culture together to kind of talk about like certain struggles that we face as like the youth, and we would just like vibe with one another, and it was just like a chance for like, you know, people to be around people that they're relatable to, and you know, everybody was welcome in the group. You were more than welcome to come and like listen to certain sessions and debates and learn about the culture, the dances and the foods and stuff like that. So that's where I saw her the most, and that's where we had great conversation. She seemed very intellectual, very well spoken. She was like the number one advocate of like women, independent women, women getting their own money, women getting their own income, women being independent, and you know, about like being hardworking and and being honest. Like she was just like, she seemed to hold like really good and pure values, right? Battery's about to die, so let me get another one. Okay. Anyways, so what was I saying? Yeah, so like every time she would speak, like everyone would be like, every girl would be like, yo, this girl is it. This girl is it. Go, girl. She was that type of girl. Ooh, actually, I have receipts. On April 4th, and I think it was actually after her birthday party, I think. Yeah, I think it was after her birthday party. And that's the thing though, like, you know, I was like, I guess we were close enough to the point where like I got invited to her birthday dinner, right? So yeah, it was her birthday dinner, and then she messages me and she thanks me for coming to her birthday dinner, and that I was a lot of fun. And I was like, oh, you're welcome, you know. I was like, I know. And then a couple of hours later, she messaged me again. She's like, yo, can I ask you for a really huge favor? And I was like, yeah, sure thing. I was like, I mean, at this point, you're my girl. Like, we just had your birthday party, and I was there. We celebrated your birthday. Like, ask me anything. And then she goes, and then she proceeds to tell me how her sister was going through some financial troubles, and she gave her sister all her money, which left her with nothing. And now her landlord is asking her to pay the rent, but she doesn't have any money, but because she's getting paid on Friday, and the landlord doesn't want to wait until Friday. He's threatening to kick her out if she doesn't pay the money by tomorrow. And I mean, at this point, I'm like, yo, what? Like, I just saw you at your birthday party. We were living it up, and now you're about to get kicked out of your house and be homeless? Girl, I can't let that happen. What can I do? How much do you need so that I can see what I can lend you, right? And she's like, any little bit can help. And I was like, okay, cool. I mean, at this point, guys, like, I went to her birthday. I'm gonna use the birthday party because I'm trying to give myself an excuse to why I even thought that I should be giving her money. But I was like, but I don't know. I just felt like, yo, like she's a friend. Like all our friends know each other. Like we're cool people. Like if somebody that I knew and that I saw like very frequently was about to be homeless, and I had money in my bank account that could possibly help them just for like one rent payment, like, how can I not give them that money? Like, what level of evilness would I have to be like, yeah, no, be homeless, be out in these streets, and keeping my money in my bank? Like, that's just evil. I'm sorry, I couldn't do it. So I was like, yeah, and she's like, any little bit will help. I'm like, okay, I have this certain amount of money, and I'll send it to you right away. And she was like, thank you so much. I'll pay you back by Friday. I'll have the money back to you. And I was like, cool, because then by then, you know, my bills aren't due until the week after that. So that's cool. I'll get it by Friday, and I'll be cool. I'll be fine. And then we didn't speak at all after that. And then Friday comes, and I still don't have my money. I was like, okay, I mean, I still got a couple days until, you know, I'm gonna have to pay my bills or whatever, so it's chill. And I didn't want to be that kind of person who now, because you owe me money, I want to now harass your life and disturb your life and just be a demon shouting, where's my money, where's my money? Like, I just didn't want to be that kind of person. So I was like, I'm gonna give her time, and maybe she got to sort herself out, and she'll eventually, like, you know, give my money back. I didn't hear anything from her until, like, let me check the receipts so I'm accurate in terms of timing. I wanted to be kind of strategic in the way I was gonna ask for my money. I didn't want to be like, hey, yo, where's my money? Or where's my money? Or hey, where's my money? You know? Yeah, so like a week went by and I still didn't hear anything from her. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna be strategic in the way I'm gonna ask so that I don't come off as like, like a because I owe you money, now I can talk to you anyhow. I didn't want to come across as that. So I was like, let me actually read. I was like, oh yeah, sorry guys. And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot to let you know what email to use, LOL. And then I sent her the email. That's kind of like my way of saying like, hey, remember my money that you owe me? I need it back now. And then she proceeds to go like, LOL, thanks girl, I've been at work all weekend, but I get off noon tomorrow and then I'll transfer the funds. Thank you. And I'm like, yeah, no P. Just wanted to make sure it was sent to the right address because I don't know which one I used to send. You know, strategic, you know. I mean, I just slid it in there without being like annoying or whatever, which, you know, honestly, it's fine if you're annoying, if somebody owes you money. If it's your money, I beg, it's your money. Garrett's. At that time, I think I was just too nice. I think in general, I'm just like a really nice person, and I don't like to treat people in like a horrible way, you know, because I mean, who am I? It's a bit, oh god. So that was, when I said that was April 10th. She said, when I get off of work, I'll send you the money. Didn't hear anything else for 5 whole days, almost a week. But I was Milca, you were really patient though, honestly. Milca, God bless you. Literally 5 days go by, like you're telling me right after work you're gonna send me my money, and then 5 days later nothing. So I'm just like, hey Brenda, ... I know you're busy and whatnot. Imagine, I'm getting shivers right now. No, honestly, I want to go back in time and slap myself. Seriously. I'm like, I know you're busy right now and whatnot, and I don't mean to bother you. Hey! I don't mean to bother you for my own money. Imagine! Whew. I don't mean to bother you and whatnot, but I really need the funds by tonight. I was just being too nice. And I think the reason why I was being really nice and still really cordial at that time is because I had texted Melody, because she probably might have known her longer. I texted her, I'm like, hey, Melody, like, do you trust Brenda? And then Melody's like, yeah, why'd you ask? I'm like, well, because I lent her some money and like, she's kind of like not responding and I still haven't gotten it back. And then Melody goes, oh no, I trust her. She's like cool people. She said she'll give you your money back. She'll give you your money back. Like, don't even worry. Like, that's how much our friend group, like, you know, trusted her and like thought highly of her. Like, for real. Like, nobody had ever seen this coming ever. So I was like, okay, cool. You know, she, like Melody says, she's trustworthy. So I think I was still being cordial, even though I was like extremely annoyed. I was still being cordial and nice and respectful, because at this point I'm just like, I don't want to now start, you know, causing drama because of money. Like, so I was just like, I'm still gonna be nice so that, you know, if after this we see each other in public again, like, it's not gonna be awkward. So I asked for it really nicely, and she's like, oh dear, of course, I'll send it. And then I didn't hear anything back from her until, like, she said at 5 p.m, 3 hours after 5 p.m, still didn't hear anything from her. So I hit her up and I'm just like, oh, and please don't forget to send the answer to the security question. And then she says, and then she replies to me the next day and she says the password is avocado. This was the epitome of the disrespect. And let me tell you why. Because in actuality, she had never sent the money. She said she gave me a password to shut me up so I could just sit in there and wait. So I eventually did not get the money on that day. On April 16th, she says the password is avocado. And she didn't message me for like until April 23. And I messaged her over and over and over and over again. I messaged her the same day on the 16th when she sent the avocado password, where she acted like she actually sent it, but she actually didn't. I messaged her on the 18th, 2 days later. I messaged her on the 22nd, 4 days after the 18th. So, and then I was like, Brenda, this on the 22nd, April 22nd, I was like, Brenda, this is really upsetting to me that you are online and refuse to read my messages. I said, this chick will be on Facebook, okay? She'll be on Facebook and she sees that I am messaging her, be like, yo, you said you were gonna give this money back like a month ago. Well, a month ago is kind of a stretch. Like 3 weeks ago. It's almost been a month since, like, you said you would pay me back and you haven't. Like, where is the money? Like, girl, give it back. Like, it's not like I'm, like, it would be different if I was like stupid rich and I had money to spare, but I don't. I was a student, okay, and I was being underpaid. Every single penny counts, every single dollar counts, because I'm paid by the hour, sis. If I had given you the money as a, like, take free money, it would have been a different story, but I lent it to you. Anyways, she'd be online, she would like see that I'm messaging her and she would refuse to even look at it. She wouldn't even open it. So essentially I'm like, if you don't have the funds, and she didn't reply after that. And then I'm just like, okay, if you don't have the funds at the moment, Brenda, it's fine. It wasn't fine. Just please let me know when I can get it so I can make payment arrangements for my bills. Hey, once she heard that, she's like, hey, I'm sorry. Realistically though, it looks like I won't have funds to actually pay you back until the 1st of May. I was like, okay, cool, that's all I needed to know. Now I can, like, you know, work something out. Zambe! May 1st came and gone. Nothing. I didn't hear a single thing. So eventually, May 15th is when I messaged her and I'm just like, yo, Brenda. Nothing. May 21st. I'm just like, am I ever getting my money back? Nothing. May 23rd, question mark. June 1st, 2016. I'm like, Brenda, seriously? Pay me back. Nothing. And the reason why I wasn't getting any response is because at that time she had blocked me. Now, after the message that I sent on June 1st, 2016, at this point, I came to the conclusion and to the acceptance that I, Milca, would never get my money back from this chick. I got scammed. My money got stolen.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
I was just like, okay, fine. I mean, honestly, I'm young. You know, I'll probably be making more money like in the future. I can live with this. Finito. No more lending money to this chick. Now, honestly, one thing I wish I had done though, I wish I had told other people what had taken place, but I didn't. And the reason why I wish I had told people was because soon after this whole incident where I had finally come to terms with the fact that I would never get my money back from this chick, Melody hits me up and she's like, yo, Milca, did you ever get your money back from Brenda? And I'm just like, no, Melody, I did not. She's like, this is crazy, like, because so essentially what happened was Melody had a friend that lived in another city and she came to visit Melody, and because Melody's like a very social person, she knows everybody, she's got all the motives. So her friend came, and in one of the motives, or like one of the events that Melody brought her friend to, let's call that friend A. So in one of the events that Melody took friend A to, she met Brenda, and then Brenda friended her on Facebook and whatnot, and cool. And then around the same time where she had asked me for money, or around the same time I was dealing with her situation, she had gone and asked for Melody's friend A, for money as well. Now, it was really strange because she'd only met or seen friend A on like a couple occasions because she doesn't live in our city. You know, she was here for like what, a week or two, and then she went back to wherever she was. Like, so Brenda didn't even know that chick that well, right? So in my head I'm thinking this girl is targeting people that she feels like she can easily dispose of. So, you know, I'm gonna take your money and then I'm gonna block you, and then because you live in another city, there's no way, what are you gonna do, right? And it was the same with me, like, I'm this young university chick, I'm gonna take your money, I'm gonna block you, what are you gonna do, you know? And I thought it was just me that she did that to, and you know, that situation happened, and me and you know, Melody, we're like honestly shook. We're just like, whoa, like we can't believe that this is who she turned out to be, you know? Like we were in shock. And on top of that, like, I mean, fortunately for friend A, the amount of money that she gave was not like incredibly significant, right? But it just didn't take away from the fact that this girl was like a student who was, you know, who was fully supporting herself in her studies. Like she was working, you know, to pay bills, like, to pay school fees and like books and stuff like that. And anybody who's gone to university knows how stupidly expensive university is, right? So we were just like, it was sad and it was hurtful that, you know, something that we thought was our friend was doing this to people who, you know, had the goodness and the kindness to want to help her. So it was just really sad, and we were just like, oh shoot, like that. We talked about it and we were like in shock, and we talked about how shocked we were and how terrible that was, and then it kind of like died there, right? But is it finished? No, it's not finished. This girl did not stop there. One day, so you know the group that I talked about before, let's call it group ABC. That group has a Facebook group, and so I wasn't on Facebook like that. So one day Melody hits me up and she's like, yo Milca, you've got to go check out the ABC Facebook page. And then I go on there, and then there's this post by this Asian guy. I'm pretty sure he was an immigrant, and he was here to go to school. So, and if you know, like as an international student, like school is ridiculously expensive, you know, for anybody who like, you know, studies abroad as an international student. And I'm reading this page, and this guy basically is warning people. He's like, don't lend money to Brenda because she ends up blocking you. She ends up blocking you when you ask for it back. And I was like, no, that's what happened to me. She lent money for me and she blocked me, bro. Like, she did that to you too. Like, no way. Like, that's when it really hit me that I was scammed. It wasn't just a friend who couldn't pay me back. I was legit scammed at this point. I was just like, okay, yeah, Milca, yeah, you have been played. You have been played for a fool. I mean, more than anything, I felt bad for this particular guy because one, he's an immigrant. He's going to school as an international student. And two, he lent a significant amount of money. Like, the amount that he lent was like 5 times what I gave Brenda, right? So I was just like, yo, that is so sad. I don't know how, but we eventually started talking, me and this guy. Let's call him Guy B. So me and Guy B started talking. We're just talking about, like, you know, what has transpired and how similar his situation was to mine. In the comments, like, when under his post that he had posted to like warn people, which I applaud him for, like, I wish I had done that, because essentially when you out someone like that, regardless of if it's a friend or not, when you out someone like that, you prevent other people from becoming a victim, because now they're aware and they have the information and knowledge that this person is not trustworthy and I should not lend their money. It's gonna save them a lot of heartache. It's gonna stop. It's basically gonna help other victims not get victimized, basically. I applaud him for that, for being like courageous enough to, like, you know, speak out, because this was a person that within the community and the group, even the university, like, was deemed and seen as like somebody who was like really upright and who would never pull something like that. You know what I mean? The reason why I even thought of like taking legal action was because, unfortunately for Brenda, I was taking business law. I was taking a course called business law, where I was learning about like certain, like, you know, legal procedures. I was learning about like the courts, which court to go to for like certain amount of claims and whatnot. And I knew the procedure, like I knew what to do. Like, I was learning the steps, you know, I was learning rights, like the charter rights of like rights to freedom. Like, I was learning all of that. I was informed and equipped with knowledge. So unfortunately for Brenda, because I think in her head she thought nobody's gonna do anything. These are immigrants. These are people who are far away. These are people who are probably not aware. You know, the first initial perception that you get of me is either I'm really arrogant or I'm really friendly. But when you get to know me, like, I'm super friendly. I'm really nice, and I try to just be like kind to everybody, right? And people tend to mistake that kindness for weakness, and they don't know that me, I'm a fireball, as in like I'm a fighter. And by fighter, I don't mean like I fight like with like punches. Like, I'm not violent at all. Like, when I mean I'm a fighter, I'm just like, I will not let anybody take advantage of me, play me, intimidate me, none of that. I'm just not the type. Like, I'm friendly and everything, but like, if you push me, like the moment I decide that enough is enough, run. Like, I take such extreme measures that people are just like, honestly, Milca, for what I did, you went like to 1,000. Like, so he said he couldn't, because he was actually out of the country at the moment, so he couldn't file for like any he couldn't file for like he couldn't take legal action. However, he was like, but you can try to do it for both of us. And I was like, okay, cool. And also, one thing you guys should also know is that I've always wanted to be a lawyer. Like, growing up, I like to have debates. Like, that's always been innate in me. Like, that's always the way I've been, like, since I was like the youngest. Like all the aunties at church were like, Milca, lawyer, Milca is a lawyer. So I was just like, honestly, this is the perfect opportunity. So I was like, okay, cool, I'm legit gonna do this. So me and Guy B, we decided that we're gonna sue. And I remember asking a couple other people, and they were like, it's not worth it, it's not worth your time, it's gonna take too much time, the amount is not significant enough, like, just let it go. I was just like, I understood where they're coming from, because the amount was actually not significant. The amount that I had loaned her was nowhere near as much as like Guy B's, but I just feel like if I didn't do anything, that she would feel like she could get away with it. Therefore, she would proceed and continue to victimize other people. And I didn't want her to feel like she can just scam people and get away with it. And particularly, I just didn't want her to feel like she could take advantage of immigrants and who probably, you know, need that amount of money the most, and then just get away with it. And I was determined to make her learn her lesson. And I went to file the case. Now, I went to the office and I filed. So unfortunately they told me I could not file for Guy B. He had to file and like plead his own case. So I only filed for myself. And essentially every time you file any legal document, you start a case, like there are fees for every, you know, like documents or file that you do. And I had to pay like what, like a couple $100. But I was okay with it because I knew that if I win this case, which I knew I would, I had all the evidence. When I win this case, she'd have to pay for all my legal fees anyway. So I was like, fine, I'll put the money in now, I'll get it back later anyways. So, and because I was the plaintiff, she was the defendant, I had to serve her. And because I couldn't communicate with her like directly because she had blocked me, I communicated with her through Guy B. So everything that I had to say to her regarding this like legal action was going through Guy B. And also it's really good for you guys to know that before you file or you take any legal action against anybody, you have to let them know that you're going to take legal action. So for example, before I had gone to file a case through Guy B as well, because I can't communicate with her. Through Guy B, I let her know, okay, I'm giving you till this amount of time to come up with the money, and if you don't, I will take legal action. She didn't take me seriously. I took legal action. I served her. She still didn't take me seriously. I let her know of the case, the court date. She still did not take me seriously. Court date comes, she doesn't show up. So by default, I win. When you're going to court and, you know, one of the parties does not show up or doesn't have a representative coming to represent them in court, the person who is present automatically wins the case. So if I was the one who didn't show up, she would have won the case and I would have lost all my money. But because I showed up and she didn't show up, I automatically won the case. Like, it doesn't matter at this point because now she has to owe me the money that she owes me, the punitive damage that I was gonna sue her for, and all my legal fees, right? I didn't have a lawyer, so she didn't have to pay for a lawyer. But I still had to present my case to the judge for him to come with a verdict. Now, I had obviously, like, you know, did the most with my punitive damages. I had like, I asked for like triple the amount she actually owed me. I was like, this is what she owes me, but I wanted to pay that and 3 times more of what she actually owes me as punitive damages. And the judge was like, no. I was like, you're right, fine. The judge comes up with the verdict, and he basically, like, there's like a document that he gives you with, like, you know, the statement of what needs to be done, how much she owes me and whatnot, and the course of action. And he told me, now you have to send it to her and give her a certain amount of time to pay this to you, and if she doesn't, there's certain course of actions that there's further action you can take. So those actions were, I could garnish, if I knew where she worked, I could garnish the amount from her. I could take the amount straight from her paycheck, and then until she pays me back, I would take a certain amount from her paycheck. And the other thing is I could get an arrest warrant from her. And I said, say what, Mr. Judge? I can what? Mr. Judge, you must be kidding. I actually didn't say that, but that was what I was thinking about. I was like, hey, I can get an arrest warrant on you, sis. You're playing with me. You mess with the wrong chick at this point. I feel sorry for you. Honestly, I feel sorry for you. You shouldn't have. You really shouldn't have. I was hyped. I was like, yo, I can get this chick arrested. Now, I decided to opt for, because I didn't know where she worked, I decided to opt for getting her arrested. So through Guy B, I was like, okay, hey Guy B, so I went to the court case. This is the verdict of the judge. Please let this chick know the following. And I was like, okay, I give you until this amount to pay me the full amount that is stated by the judge, or I will file for an arrest warrant against you and you will go to jail. The girl just feared. She trembled. At this point, the chick knew, okay, this girl isn't playing. Alright. Okay. Alright. Finally, this girl decides to unblock me, and she messaged me. She's like, hi Milca, I'm emailing so I can acquire your email to transfer you at least blank of the blank that I owe you today. I said, funny. Now you have come to ask me for my email to pay me back. Milca, you have done well. And at this point, I wasn't being nice, I wasn't being cordial, I was being really straightforward and professional, because at this point I had taken legal action. So, you know, there are certain things I couldn't say. I couldn't be aggressive, I couldn't be, you know, suggestive, I couldn't be threatening. So I was just like really straightforward. Now you have come to me. May I not come to you? Because I stopped texting you. I did message you. I stopped though. You blocked me. So when I warned you that I was going to take legal action, you did not unblock me, huh? I warned you I was gonna take a look at you. Did not unblock me. You don't even talk to me. Nothing. And then I filed you. I served you. You did not unblock me. It's not that I have an arrest warrant that I can bring you to jail. That's what you have come to pay me back. It's good. It's good. No, honestly, just reliving it like really makes it was a victory. Honestly, just reliving it like makes me so happy. Anyways, and she talked about how she wasn't trying to be malicious and blah blah blah. She apologized and she was like, I'm sorry I took advantage of your friendship or blah 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 blah. And I just kept a really basic, really quick intro. I said, here's my email, send me my money, give me the password so I can get my money. So she did pay me the full amount. She ended up paying me the full amount. But the reason why I don't even consider her as a friend or anything like that is simply because first of all, she wouldn't have given me my money back had I not taken legal action. She wouldn't have unblocked me had I not taken legal action. So actually, she had planned to keep my money that I worked hard for and just go and run. I said no. You messed with the wrong chick. I look calm and I'm very friendly, but trust me, if I must raise hell, I will do it. Don't play with me. And for me, honestly, I probably wouldn't have taken legal action. It was just the principle of it. I just didn't want her to think that she could get away with it. Like, she had to learn her lesson. I had to make her learn her lesson. I had to make her pay. Like, had she not paid me back and had gotten that arrest warrant, that would have ruined her whole life because she would have a record. So, moral of the story is, don't scam people because you don't know who you're going to mess with and where it's going to take you to. Okay? Be happy with whatever you have currently until God blesses you with more. That's literally the first lesson that I want to teach people. Don't put yourself in a situation where you're owing people money and now they're coming after you. Next thing, the police, the arrest warrants, you're in jail. Not worth it. If you have to live in a shack, live in a shack. At least you'll be in peace. Second of all, if you owe somebody money, just pay them back. Just do it. Honestly, just pay them back. Because at the end of the day, every single person that has a dollar, they've worked for it, and it's just not fair that you think you can just snatch it from them or steal it from them and then run. Like, that doesn't make sense. Like, why don't you work for your own dollar? Like, I just don't understand. It's not your money. If somebody's kind enough to, like, are gracious enough to lend you money, make sure you give them back. Make sure you honor them and you show them the same grace that they gave you and give them their money back. You owe that to them. It's theirs. I want people to understand that violence is not always the answer. Well, it's never the answer, really, especially not in Canada, because you're gonna end up in jail. Like, battery and assault is not gonna solve the issue. I mean, you might think, like, presently at that moment it's a quick fix for you to, like, let out your anger. In the long run though, it's gonna hurt you because that person can actually press charges. You can end up in jail, ruin your whole life, get a record, and then nobody's gonna want to hire you. So don't go around beating people up because they stole your money. Like, just don't beat anybody up. Like, if somebody has done something really bad to you and you can't take legal action, cut them off and never speak to them again. Like, that's just all you have to do. You don't have to go and beat somebody. You don't have to get your gang to go and pull up. None of that. We don't do that. No. And if you can't take legal action, I honestly encourage you to do that. It might be the long way to getting your problem resolved or getting your money back, but at least you're not going to jeopardize the rest of your life. From this whole experience that I went through and that I learned as well, is that when you're gonna lend somebody money, the first thing that you want to do is you want to make sure you know their address or where they live, or at least where they work, right? And you have, like, you know, quick or fast access to them. So with that being said, what I mean is, you know, when you want to serve somebody, right, the person has to receive the file that says that you're going to court, so and so is suing you for such an amount. So when you're lending somebody money, just make sure, like, you're fully aware of who this person is, where they abide, where they work, and, like, you know, just the basic information on how to find them. That's the one thing that I want you guys to learn in terms of, like, taking legal action. The second thing that I want you guys to learn is when somebody is lending you money, they could ask for it over the phone, but always get them to have, like, always have them to write it down somewhere. Like have them email you how much they need, have them text you how much they need. Like just have something in like writing, because that's binding. Like when you can show that, okay, this person did actually say that. Because over the phone, like the person can be like, you have no proof that I said what I said. And you know, it would be like your word against their word, right? Or if you feel a little bit weird for like asking somebody to like text you how much they need when they're asking you over the phone, just be like, hey, do you mind if I record this? Because in actuality, you cannot record somebody without their consent, and that will not be like that. You cannot use that as evidence in court because it was taken without the person's consent, right? So that's the other thing I want people to learn. Like when you're lending somebody money or you're giving anybody money, like I know there's this thing going around. There was a particular woman, a girl that I know, she got into like this pyramid scheme. You put the money in, and then like it goes around, and then like the person in the middle gets the money, and then there's somebody else that comes, and then you'll eventually have your money. Like it's just a way to like double or triple your money from just like putting your money into this circle. Something crazy like that. So she eventually, like, though the thing is obviously a scam, but unfortunately when she had given that money, she didn't know anything about the person she gave the money to. She had like no information. She literally had no way to take legal action and get her money back, unfortunately. So it's really important that you have these basic information, that you have things in writing, that you have the person's legal name, all these things, right? So you don't have to acquire it in a creepy way, but just make sure that who you're lending money to is somebody that you actually, you know quite well, or that, you know, other people around you know them quite well. Or you're just not going to be able to get your money back. So that's definitely an important lesson that I want people to learn, you know, in the future when you're lending somebody money, just to avoid getting scammed or played or taken a fool or taken advantage of. I don't think there's anything wrong with lending somebody money when they're in need. I think we all need each other at some point in our life. But unfortunately we don't know who is going to be honest and who's going to be, you know, who's going to respect us enough to give us our money back and understand that we worked hard for that money and we need it as well. That's why we worked for it. So with that being said, like I'm not saying you don't lend anybody money because you might get scammed, but I am saying just be careful who you lend money to and make sure you have the right information in case you think that you might need to take some legal actions. I hope this was helpful for you guys, and I hope you guys learned from this, and I hope that this will definitely help you guys in the future. And like I said, I didn't put this story time out there to really you know, make this scammer, because she might have turned over a new leaf. Actually, as a matter of fact, I think like I think last year, like I had like a couple people who like I follow were posting like an event that she was a motivational speaker at, and I was like, oh, that's funny, people are gonna get motivation from her. But she could have honestly changed, turned over a new leaf, learn her lesson, become a better person. I don't know. But it's just the point of the story isn't to let her down, to like put her down or to expose her. Those people who know who I'm talking about, they've known about the situation for years. This was solely for the purpose of like, you know, sharing this experience and what I learned from it in hopes that if anybody is ever in the same situation as me, that they take the right steps. I was lucky enough that I did take the right step, that, you know, she communicated through like text messages and I had it in writing. But some people may not have that knowledge and that understanding, and some people could be in that situation where they have those evidence and they just don't know that they can actually take legal action and get justice, right? So this video was to serve that purpose. My sole and main purpose of even, you know, starting a YouTube channel or, you know, making like Instagram videos is to be helpful in one way or another, in like different ways that we can all relate to, and that different things that we've all gone through. With that being said, I'm gonna close this video and I am gonna go. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.
It's Milca. Et si tu n'es pas content, ça veut dire que ça c'est la jalousie.
Allez, si tu n'es pas content, ça veut dire que ça c'est la jalousie. Ça c'est la jalousie. Ça c'est la jalousie. Allez, ça c'est la jalousie. Ça c'est la jalousie. Allez, ça c'est la jalousie. Ça c'est la jalousie.